Week 12 recap, man. I have Kendall Willie from Ken's Pet Talk. Of course, I'm Jerry from the Cowboys Cast, and we are coming together on the East West football. Kendall, I mean, shoot, I know it's busy right now. It's busy times. We just finished with Thanksgiving. I heard that you had a great meal and whatnot. Likewise, same thing goes here, Kendall. But week 12, it's already in the books. Can you believe it? I mean, we were just talking about week one.
Nah, man, just it's flying. Like it was just week one, week two, like a good month or so ago. Now we're already with week 12. I mean, these a lot of divisions up for grabs, seeding is up for grabs. A lot of surprise teams. These rookies are balling. Like it's been crazy, man. It's been a crazy season so far. We're entering the final quarter of it.
For sure, for sure. Well said, right? And remember, we are live right now on Ken's Pet Talk, East West Football, and the Cowboy Cast on our YouTube. Right now, we're trying to grow our YouTube. So if you can hit a subscribe on whichever one you're watching, make sure you hit that like button and you can share so we can grow together. Of course, we're very interactive. We if you leave a comment, we give you a round of applause. We read your comment, we'll make it a topic. But I mean, Harvey and yourself, you guys already covered the Packers, Lions, Commanders, Cowboys, 49ers, and Seahawks, and of course, the Dolphins and Jets was a Friday game. And then, of course, let's just go right into it. Buccaneers, Colts, Kendall. Colts actually helped themselves against in this game, 27-20. But they, what do you have to say about this game, Kendall?
Yeah, me and Harvey talked about this game during the pre-show. I told him like this might be a game we'll come back to, and won't be surprised if Tampa wins or if the coach won't be surprised who wins this game. What stood out to me, Jonathan Taylor, he did get hurt in this game. He's gonna be out for a little bit. Had a pretty good game, and the coach been playing some good ball with the numerous injuries that they have. And Tampa Bay has really turned into the Buccaneers that we envisioned them being coming into the season. Baker Mayfield been a turnover machine, and just they just haven't been consistent. They started out 2-0, and I think they haven't won a lot of games since then. So kind of like they caught the lead by surprise earlier this year. Then everybody caught up to them in less than a month, and they've reverted back to Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And it makes you appreciate Tom Brady a little bit more, right? Because Tom Brady was elevating the actual play of these Buccaneers teams. Mr. Nesso Crunch, I don't think I've ever really seen this name before. Have you?
I have not.
Of course, we appreciate all the comments. If you're new, please subscribe. Help us grow on all three channels. You can go into the Cowboys cast if you like Cowboys. East West football is more like the People's NFL Network, and of course, Ken's Pet talk about Patriots there. So I mean, give us a subscribe. I mean, you don't have to turn on notifications at least. Give us a subscription. He's predicting Cowboys versus Jaguars in the Super Bowl. Man, I let's kind of go through this real quick, because I want to talk about the playoffs, because we're already in playoff mode right here. Patriots lose to the Giants. Anything you need to say about this one? It's all good. Kendall right now is currently bouncing something that like a honeydew, so to say. I will say this: I know Kendall did not want the Patriots to win in this game. He loves his Patriots, but he says it's time for a face change. Or a new face of the franchise type. They need a new Mac Jones. So we'll see. I mean, I think that the Giants really needed this win as much as the Patriots do. I think Kendall's already talked about what the Patriots need. Patriots need to bring in an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator to help, co- uh, you know, Coach Belichick get Don Shula's record. So I think we are going to see Bill Belichick, but just with different offensive coordinators that were outside, not so much in house, and they probably need to start over with a franchise quarterback. So I know that he, as much as he hates losing, I know that this is a game that he wanted he wanted the Giants to come out. And hey, I mean, when are people going to start look at the Giants and say, I mean, as it is, everybody's already saying that they're not a good team in 2023. So at what point do they need to start making every week count and really become a game that they are trying to get back into the playoffs, and before people start talking about Brian DeBall being on a hot seat, and it's the NFL, man. So the NFL will be doing that kind of stuff. Steelers defeat the Bengals 16-10. I mean, I think the writing is on the wall right now, technically for the Bengals. Especially losing Joe Burrow. Appreciate that. Mr. Nizzle Crunch. Appreciate that, man. That is for you. We appreciate the love and support, man. But just gonna try to get through these games. So yeah, for the Bengals, I know we have some of our colleagues. They were saying there was Bengals and Eagles in the Super Bowl this year. It's gonna be kind of hard for the Bengals to do it without Joe Shiesty, right? Joe Burrow. Of course, Steelers are an up and down team right now. I mean, I know they just got rid of their offensive coordinator Matt Canada, but I mean, if you looked at the Steelers, they have all the playmakers. I mean, Kenny Pickett, yeah, people can be kind of critical of the quarterback position in the NFL, but right now, I think that offensive coordinator Matt Canada needed to get it going. He just wasn't able to do it, and right now they're gonna have to learn something that works for that offense and get it going and turn in the right direction. Panthers lose to the Titans. Man, this came with many repercussions. We saw that the Panthers lost their head coach, Frank Reich, and the writing is on the wall. I think he even said it. I don't think he's going to be a head coach anymore in the NFL. Is he going to work in the NFL again? We'll see. I mean, I think the way the NFL's worked is the coaches will get paid for their contracts that they have. So we'll see if he takes a nice little vacation, maybe regroups, and then see if he can get back into some kind of specialty coach position. But the Titans were able to come away with this victory, 17-10. Panthers, I don't know, man. Any Panthers, any Panthers fans out there thinking that they've given up on CJ Stroud? I'm sorry, CJ Stroud. Giving up on giving up on oh goodness. I don't know why I say CJ Stroud. I know they should have gone CJ Stroud, but I mean, aside from Bryce Young, I'm sorry, don't give up on Bryce Young. I think he has that winner in him. But they got rid of Josh McCown, which a lot of people thought that he was going to be up for a head coaching position. And they also fired Deuce Staley, which is a former running back that had a bright future as well as becoming maybe the next prominent, maybe even head coaching material. But that's crazy for the Panthers to completely get rid of that. Nestle Crunch says, "What two teams do you think will make it to the AFC Championship since Bengals are making the playoffs?" We're gonna get to that in just a bit, man. We have the whole playoff picture right now. Let's see here. The Jaguars defeat the Texans. Man, this is a great game. I think all the way to the end, 24-21. CJ Stroud, I mean, he looks like the real deal. Looks like the Texans are going to make a fight to the very end, but they gotta be able to close out these games, man. These close games. That's what determines if you can actually, you know, def, maybe even go into the playoffs and see if you can hold your end of the bargain in the playoffs and make those contested difficulties in the actual game itself in the playoffs where it counts. So these close games are very important. Anytime you have it, you got to capitalize on it. Jaguars were able to pull away. Saints lose to the Falcons. I think this one was a big shocker. I think actually Kendall had the Falcons winning, so we'll see. We'll see if he comes back in. We'll ask him a little bit about that. On this one, I mean, Falcons. It, Falcons have been really. How do you trust it? But it is the South. Last year, even with Tom Brady leading the Buccaneers, they got into the playoffs out of default because they every division there's one team from each division that is able to punch their ticket into the playoffs because of their divisional their divisional winners, right? Johnny Brewer, good to see you this evening. Says I think the next 5 games are very important for the Cowboys. If the Cowboys somehow win these next 5 games, that would be huge for the Cowboys. They would be 13-4 going into the last game. And we're gonna talk about all that right now. It's gonna get really juicy. Just doing a little rundown real quick. Let's see here. The Rams defeat the Cardinals 37-14. Um, the thing is with the Rams, who are they? Can you trust them? You know, you need to have a balance. You gotta have some kind of rushing attack. I think with them, they have some sporadic plays with the running backs, but then they bend and they run and keep on moving forward with their passing attack, which has been pretty potent, and they still got Aaron Donald. So we'll see. Broncos, man. I think this is the biggest shocker of the entire week 12. Broncos defeating the Browns 29-12. I mean, everybody's been saying how good the Browns have looked, especially in that tough NFC North. Who would have thought, right? The NFC North would have had a resurgence like that, especially in the 2023 season. And then, of course, we had a overtime win on Sunday. It was the Eagles 37, Bills 34. It was a great game, back and forth. Of course, I alluded to earlier with the Texans. You got to be able to close out these tight games, and the Eagles, they continue to do that. Right now, I think right now, personally, me speaking, the Eagles are right now Super Bowl champions. Right now, they're going to defeat anybody that comes in their way. They're the best team in the NFL right now, regardless of division, regardless of any situation. And then you had the Chiefs defeating the Raiders. Raiders thought they really had a chance. Wah, wah, wah. 31-17. Hey, you can't better bet against Patrick Mahomes. Ravens defeat the Chargers 20-10. Man, all I gotta say is, for all those that believe in Kellen Moore, calling him a guru, uh, and him having the best one of the brighter future quarterbacks in the league. There's a lot of answer there for these Chargers, 20-10 as the Ravens defeat them 2010, and the Ravens improve on their actual record. Let's see here, and then we got the Bears defeating the Vikings. This was an ugly game, I think. I mean, pretty much scoreless. I know that Josh Dobbs ended up throwing a few picks. Not good, but that is it for week 12. Of course, week 13 on this Thursday, we do have a big game. It's the Seahawks Cowboys. You're gonna have to catch me on the Cowboy Cast to give you my prediction on this game right here. Seahawks are playing at Cowboy Stadium, and we will be able to determine that. So that is your Week 12 recap. So let's talk about these playoffs. Let's see the current playoff picture. The way it goes in the AFC right now, the number 1 seed is the Baltimore Ravens. The number 2 seed is the Kansas City Chiefs at 8-3. The 3rd seed is Jacksonville Jaguars, and the 4th seed is Miami Dolphins at 8-3. Then you got the Steelers, the Browns, and the Colts. They're all wild cards right there. From there, I think the Browns kind of had everybody kind of fooled for a bit as far as because that defense has been so vaulted. But look at the Colts right there. Also, their defense has been able to hang in there for the most part and be able to make a push. So that is the way the AFC playoff picture looks like. Now let's look at the NFC. The first seed is the Eagles, man. They have the best record in the NFL, 10-1. Yes, they're the greatest team in the NFL. Man, Jalen Hurts is an MVP. Man, that defense is vaulted. I mean, they have the best. I mean, they're the team. They're the team to beat. And then you got a second San Francisco 49ers, also a great team, great offense, great defense. I know they're up next for their matchup. Then you got the Detroit Lions who are holding it down with the third. They're the 3rd seed. They're 8-3. Then you get the Falcons at 5-6. It's unfortunate for the Saints to let up on this. The Saints everybody had high hopes for the Saints at the beginning of the year. They even thought that maybe this would be the Saints year where they could just walk right into an NFC championship, but things have really turned differently for them. And then you got the Cowboys as the 5th seed, Seahawks as the 6th seed, and the Vikings as your 7th seed. Whew. So let's see. There was a question earlier. It says, what 2 teams do you think will make the AFC Championship since Bengals aren't making the playoffs? So the way it looks here, it's you got the Steelers, the Browns, and the Colts. When you actually look at that bigger picture, though, I mean, it's very difficult because you still got people. It's still relatively early where some things could happen, where some teams can lose and these can win out. Then you got a different ballpark. And for clarification, that Steelers, Browns, and Colts, the Texans are 8th, Broncos are 9th, and the Bills are 10th. The Bills really needed that win against the Eagles, but they dropped it. And the Bengals are still out of it. Raiders are still in it. Of course, Chargers. On the bubble, you got in the NFCs the Packers, the Rams, the Saints, the Buccaneers. So again, It's very difficult. I think if any team can probably sneak back into this situation or maybe get in the good graces of the AFC, it'd probably be the Texans. For me, it'd probably be between the Broncos, and then I'm gonna choose between the Texans and the Bills. I'll give Bills the edge just because they've been to the playoffs. Texans are still a relatively new team. And when we look at the NFC, can the Saints take back the South? That's the big question. And of course, the Rams and Packers are not out of the playoff picture as well. So definitely, it's this is what your playoff picture looks like. So the road to Vegas leads through obviously through the Ravens and the Eagles, the Chiefs and the 49ers, the Jaguars, the Lions, the Dolphins and Falcons, and of course, what other team do you have confidence in? It's very difficult, man. It's a hard way to predict, but let me know what you guys think. I mean, definitely all ears. I know I'm way down Kendall. Kendall though had something to do with he had to take care of something real quick at at home, and he said he's gonna try to get back on. We are not live on TikTok today. I know that Harvey is out of town right now, and we just want to do a recap. Let me double check on one more thing. Because we are live on the Cowboys cast. So if anybody's watching from the Cowboys cast, chime in. Let me know who's watching. Jose Pais, where you at? It's not Thanksgiving anymore. Let me see. Crunch says, my prediction is Cowboys versus 49ers in the NFC Championship and Chiefs versus Jaguars in the AFC Championship. Wow. Hey, Crunch. So let me ask you something real quick. I like the Cowboys 49ers championship because there's only one way. And I don't know though. Do you think are you saying is that does that mean the 49ers beat the Eagles some way this week or the 49ers beat the Eagles this week? That's my question to you, right? Because I think the only way that that would happen is if the roles were switched because it looks like right now the Cowboys are going to end up facing the 49ers. What is it? In the divisional round? So that would not let them go in the championship in the actual NFC championship. And then, of course, the Chiefs and Jags. Do you think that the Jags are gonna make a last minute surge? What happened to the Ravens in your prediction? Ravens have let's look at this real quick. Right now I'm gonna give you these are the top 5 defenses in the NFL. So this is based off points. So they're only allowing they're based off who's allowing the least amount of points. You got the 49ers only allowing 15.5 points a game. You have the Ravens only allowing 15.6 points a game. You got the Chiefs allowing 16.5 points a game, Cowboys 16.8, and then the Steelers 18.6 points a game. Then when we look at the actual offense itself, the offenses right now in the NFL, and we're going to base this off of points scored. Right now, the Cowboys have the most points from the entire NFL. They're scoring 31 and a half points. The Dolphins are scoring 30.8. So they're almost at the 31 marker also. Eagles are 28.2. 49ers are 28.2. So the Eagles and 49ers are tied right there. You got the Bills at 27.3 points. Crazy. It's a little crazy situation that we have going on right now in the playoff picture. But we'll see, man. There's still some football left to go. Which game are you guys looking forward to? I will tell you this: the one game that I am looking forward to, of course, everybody knows that I am a Cowboy fan. Of course, I'll be definitely cheering on the Cowboys on Thursday, but there's a couple games out there that I'm going to be paying attention to very closely. Um, a game that I'm going to be looking out for is the Broncos and the Texans because these two teams are trying to get back into the playoff picture. Go ahead and put me down also with the 49ers at at Eagles. 49er fans, I'm sorry, man. I have a ton of respect for the 49ers. You guys have had the Cowboys number for many years, but I'll tell you this, man, the Eagles are the best team right now in the NFL. 10-1 record speaks for itself. They know how to win. 49ers, I mean, if we've seen, I mean, Brock Purdy can be very efficient, but when he's not efficient and you give those opportunities to Jalen Hurts, they're going to do what they did to you guys last year. And then, of course, let's see here. How about this Browns and Rams game? So, yeah, that is what I'm me personally what I'm looking forward to. I'm sorry that we didn't have a full staff on today, but at least we at least we were able to cover all the games, right? Do you think the Jags are Super Bowl material? Man, that's a very tough question. I think they're trending in the right direction, but this year they really took a back seat though, man. I mean, it's kind of hard because last year towards this year they started turning it on and they started doing really good. Jags right now are scoring 23 points a game. Let me see here. Jags are scoring 23 points a game. The only thing is with Trevor. I love him. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL, but dang it, man, with Trevor, you just can't what can you really trust him? That's the thing. I mean, let me see in the standings right now. The Jags are currently, let me see, in that division. It's a little weird of a division there. Jags are 8-3, Colts are 6-5, Texans are 6-5, and Titans are 4-7. So out of every team right now, the most stacked team I guess if we could say right now is the AFC North, 9-3 Ravens, 7-4 Steelers, and 7-4 Browns. Then it's the South. You got 8-3 Jags, 6-5 Colts, and 6-5 Texans. And the NFC, you got of course, Eagles leading it by with the 10-1 record, 49ers leading it with an 8-3 record, and then the Lions with an 8-3 record, and then the Falcons are 5-6, Saints are 5-6. So South is kind of one of them teams where you don't really see too many of them being able to make a last minute push. In the North, you still got the Vikings at 6-6 and the Packers at 5-6. You got the in the West, you got the Seahawks at 6-5 and the Rams at 5-6. In the East, you got the Cowboys at 8-3, the Giants at 4-8, and the Commanders at 4-8. So right now, of course, it's the Eagles, Cowboys, 49ers, Lions, and I guess you're gonna have to put either the Falcons or the Saints, but you're gonna have to also equate for the Vikings are 6-6 and the six Seahawks are 6-5, Rams are 5-6. So we'll see, man. But this is what the current playoff picture looks like. I like the Jags. I think they're maybe a couple pieces away from being a true Super Bowl contender. I think the quarterback does have the same skill set as what you would like to see in one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. So we'll see about that. What did you say, Crunch? Says, seeing what's going on in the AFC, the Chiefs probably gonna make it to the Super Bowl. Man, you know what? I That's the thing. We can never count out Patrick Mahomes. He's won the Super Bowl many times already. Um, he has that killer instinct as a quarterback, um, and he still has Travis Kelsey. Man, I know everybody wants to say, "Oh well, he doesn't have the receivers," but does he really need receivers? I mean, he showed us time in and time out that he could do this. I believe that's it for us. Catch us. Let's see. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Whichever one, please subscribe. Please follow. Uh yes, you're right about the AFC crunch, about the AFC being a mess. We can see anything could happen. Um it's unfortunate the Chiefs lost to the Eagles, so we can't really trust them anymore. But other than that, I believe our schedule is back to normal on Sunday. I believe Sunday we'll be back on schedule, all of us. What'd you say? But yeah, I'm hella excited for the playoffs. Hey, the playoffs are just around the corner. It's crazy. Johnny Brewer says, my prediction for the NFC Championship is going to be the Cowboys versus 49ers. If the Cowboys can somehow get the number one seed, game over because the Cowboys are deadly at home. You're right. Cowboys are on a 13 game winning streak. Best in the league. today we heard Aaron Rodgers talking to Pat McAfee, his weekly appearance on the show, and man, he had high praise for Dak. It's crazy to hear mainstream media finally giving Dak Prescott the credit he deserves. So it's good to see that. I mean, obviously, Dak continues to ride this wave, and they got the big matchup come in 2 weeks, right? It's gonna be a Sunday night game, so we'll see. We'll definitely see what the Cowboys can do against this Eagles team. From there, it's gonna be, I think, one of the biggest games of the season as far as it could probably. I mean, because what was the last game was what 44.1 million, I believe it was. So we could probably see something close to that record. I mean, that was third all time. And I think they beat the Super Bowl too, right? What do you say? What did you say, Crunch? And Dak is having a kid soon, so maybe he can win that Super Bowl for his kid. I think that's what he's been saying in his pressers, right? That it's the dad in him, right? That's the dad in him that's helping him out. And then Johnny Bruce says Cowboys Super Bowl 58 chance, mark my word. Man, you're talking to a bunch of Cowboys Nation that is, man, we're trying not to eat the cheese, man, but right now it sounds really good. I'll tell you this, Cowboys are playing really good football. Regardless if you hate the Cowboys or you love them, it doesn't matter at this point. They're playing some good football. I mean, if you catch them at home, they're even more deadlier. And I think that as each week comes by, they're going to keep on getting more and more comfortable in this offense that they're getting. This defense is definitely able to suffocate many quarterbacks. It doesn't matter which quarterback it is. And we'll see, man. But apparently, Cowboys are being nobodies. That's what the mainstream media and, of course, all the now non-Cowboy nations is saying right now. So that's it for us, guys. Please stay tuned. Like I said, subscribe. Yeah, turn on the notifications, let you know when we go live next time. And that's it for us. You guys have a good one.